Scorpio, what's going on, y'all? My Scorpios, let's get to it. So, we vibing high right now. At least I am, you know what I mean? And it's just probably coming from the channeling of the energy. I'm able to handle it for sure today. You know, because sometimes what you channel is not the most positive energy. I mean, it's just energy, right? We give life meaning. So it's really up to the individual to determine if it's positive or negative. So I like to look at it with an optimistic attitude and be in the belief that things are not happening to me, they're happening for me, you know? Which is a healthy attitude, even though it can be or seem unrealistic to some. But it's about you, right? It's about you, Scorpios. It's about you. So I'm about to cut this deck, and we're going to get into a general reading for you. You want to know who you are right now at this moment. You heard? Slice it, dice it. First card. Justice. In reverse. Justice card in reverse. You feel like an injustice has been made amongst you. Someone has been dishonest with you, Scorpio. Something. It might even be. Let's get the someone out of it. Let's not make this personal. This is something that is an injustice. You may have been picturing something about life that is beyond the individual. That is just about an injustice. It might be a worldly thing. And it might have something to do with being directly attached to what you stand for, what your moral code is. So something is going on in the world that you don't appreciate, you don't approve of, and you feel that it's unfair. So you in your heroism vein, you might feel like putting on some armor and going out and defending some people or defending the cause, whoever is facing these injustices in the world. This is something that deals with the public at large as well, which is pretty much what I kind of said, but it's something that is abusing love or taking advantage, not even taking advantage of love. It has no love. It's barren. It's cold. It's fucked up, man. There's some type of corruption going on in the world that has you feeling some type of way. And you feel that the wrongdoers in this scenario should get what they deserve. If this ain't starting off as a Scorpio reading, I don't know what else is. Like, what else can I say? You know? And this is even though the card is in reverse, this is the good thing about Scorpio energy. The feeling that something is uneven and the tables need to be leveled out. The playing field needs to be leveled at least. At least. There needs to be some type of retribution. I think that's the word. But love is at hand here, and you feel it in your heart. You won't stand by it. People may be able to even detect this about you, which is rare, right? But I'll tell you this, even if they can't detect it, they can't stand next to you right now. You won't allow it. If someone has chose a side and it's been evident, you don't want to be around. Yeah. Let's get into what's affecting you. What's affecting you? You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you are absorbing or worldly condition doesn't even probably have anything to do with you. You probably don't even got a dog in a fight. But again, it's your code of ethics. It's your honor. And you feel like this thing is dishonorable. It's not kosher. And you've been exposed to it in some type of way. You also feel like these people or this thing is dodging the repercussions that the laws of the universe would naturally allocate to them. Let me see. All right, we're taking that. What's affecting you? What's affecting you is... Shit, I can't even see this. Oh, okay. It's the Three of Pentacles. My bad. Three of Pentacles, but this is also in reverse. So this is what's affecting you. And it makes sense. When we're talking about the number 3, we're talking about teamwork, community. So obviously people are involved. You might know who the culprits are that are conducting this corruption. And it's something that is psychic. It's something that you psychically know. This is not something that you had to see in black and white. This is something that you feel, something that you've seen with the third eye. And you feel like you're disappointed in the community that's involved with this. Maybe the community that is actually being attacked, addressed, done dirty, done wrong. You feel they lack the ambition to counter it, to counteract, to protect themselves. Feel like they're not showing the effort that they could. Feel like they're aware of it and what they're doing, or let's say even if they've made some type of effort, you feel like they're wasting their time. So it kind of like reminds me of, first thing that comes to mind is like protesting. And this is not to slight protesters. However, I think protesting is something that can be seen as repetitive, been done for generation after generation, that has not been effective in the overturning of the injustice. You feel like it's not enough, and that bothers you. You feel like the time that they're wasting on building picket signs and marching and throwing an egg or a rock or two is not the way to do this. That's not the strategy that's at hand right now. It's going to take way more than that. And in fact, it seems to you like that's more of a sign of weakness. Almost like the entity that's causing this is actually trolling that community of people to behave that way, and they're getting excitement out of it. They're feeding off of that energy. It's a sadistic tone. They may be, I don't know where they are, laughing in their towers, or they might be in the underground city. I don't know where they are. High up above, low down below. I don't know. I'm not sure. But you feel like the actions that they're taking is, like I said, weak. I'm just keeping it a bean, yo. And you may see some potential in the strength of community. You know what I'm picking up on? I feel like you feel that their efforts could make much more of a stand if they were to build it on some type of business. Cooperating in the way that builds business, because, you know, I know this is sounding very political, isn't it? I don't want to make it about politics, because just because. However, I can't avoid what I'm feeling when I'm channeling right now. It feels like it's like, what are you doing raising your voices or communing in an effort to say something when you can be taking action to actually build something that will have much more of a stronger impact because the dollars will make sense. It's like, okay, if they're doing this, they're able to do that to y'all because they accumulate wealth in whatever industries that they're in. These people, they are hiding behind industries. They're hiding behind corporations. So where's y'all corporation? Y'all want to take the activist approach. Y'all want to take the, I don't know, maybe even non-profit approach. They want to take the, like I said, the protester approach. And it's like, what are you doing? These people are making thousands, if not millions of dollars in the shadows of these emblems, these logos. And y'all are like throwing rocks at a tank. And the shit has got you up to here with it, Scorpio. This is deep. I didn't know I'm taking that card. This shit is deep. So this is what you value. This is getting even deeper. This is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is about an unhappy home. It's about dysfunctional families. So I know this is going to sound wild, right? But you may be actually valuing the eradication of this entity that has this stronghold on this community of people by way of looting, rioting, the tearing down of it that derives from broken homes, that derives from the injustice that's been imposed on those people, that because of what they've done, it has created monsters. And there's a threshold, right? There's a tolerance level that the people will have no more. So you may value the rebellious behavior over the organizing of picket signs and marches. You feel like they're doing more than the people who are actually being non-violent, so to speak. I'm just keeping it a bean, yo. I'm not gonna hold no punches with this. And it's pretty evident that the lack of stability in this external thing, right? This is a worldly thing, comes from something that has been organized. It has been arranged that way. It's sick. It's sick because those people know how uneven the scales are, yet they allow it to happen. They are giving place to wrath, and the only thing that seems to be justified is the breaking down of it. So it's not the throwing rocks at a tank. It's the actually stealing another tank and going after that tank. I'm just using that as an analogy. But it's like when you see people celebrating and reveling, I think is the word, in their accomplishments, how could they sleep at night knowing that something monstrous and hideous is growing in the cities, in the land? This might be the only feeling of enthusiasm that you get, is to know that there is actually an opposition, and it might not be the most organized, It might not be the most favored in a societal standard, but nonetheless, it's more powerful than the community of people who have been organized to grab microphones. Jeez, Scorpio. Yo. I feel the intensity with this, yo. As soon as he says Scorpio, man. Yo. So we gonna find out what's happening in the short term in relation to this. What's going on in the short term with this Scorpio situation? What's going on in the short term with this situation? Because it's the chaos, Scorpio, that is exciting you, or at least getting you to feel some type of hoorah. In the short term, we have the King of Wands upright. So it's about being in charge. Are you the leader of this pack, Scorpio? Like in the beginning, we said this doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with you. So this could mean that you have observed someone in a leadership position, if this is not you, but this could be you, who speaks about these things. You're actually speaking about it. And you want independence. And you know that the only way to achieve independence is to show some type of loyalty, to stand for something. The people who stand for something are the people that's not going to be left behind. They're not going to be caught by the wayside. They're not going to be washed away. They're not going to be easily erased. Not only that, this person is going to finance these people. You're going to finance this force to be reckoned with. And it's a particular name that comes to mind when I'm explaining this. I'm not going to say their name, but perhaps you can put the pieces together. And I'm not saying that they're a good person. I'm not saying that they're a bad person. What I can tell you is that the financing that they give to a group of people, is evidently counterattacking the finances that is given to another group of people. So think like this. Think of tyrants who are huge when it comes to magnitude. They're kings. And they're saying, oh, okay, you're confident and you're happy and you're optimistic about this group of people that you've been financing. And then this other king arises and says, well, okay, hold my beer. We're going to create a counter move. I'm going to finance the counter move. The resistance, I would say it's the resistance because of how this reading is already playing out. At the same time, you're looking at this like you're leading them to be creative in their pursuits and their endeavors. So this goes back to tying into, why are y'all walking around with picket signs when y'all could be building business and fight back economically? This is what I want y'all to do. I want you to use creativity to do this. I want you to take action. I want you to be entrepreneurs. I want you to be leaderships. You're not looking for followers. You're looking for leaders. You're the leader that's putting on leaders. You're only taking other leaders. You're only training other leaders with ambition, with energy, vitality. And it's for freedom, nothing less. It's for freedom. They must be decisive. They must pick a side. They got to choose a side. You won't have it any other way. So it's going to be easy to determine who's who and what's what. There's no playing the fence here. Very Scorpionic. Although this is a fire card. It's playing right into it. Whew. Am I taking that? That flew out. I'm taking that too. This reading needs to be done. This is the last draw, and this is the long term. This is the long term. The moon card. Upright. Another major arcana here. And I think this is exactly how you want it, Scorpio. Because now we're going back to the mystery of it all. And that's your vein. That's your lane. This is a Piscean card, but that's your water counterpart. This is Neptune ruled, so this may be masked by some deceitful chaos to where the opponent is not going to be able to easily detect what their next move should be. Because it's in the mystery of the moon, it's not highly visible. You have to investigate in order to unearth what's next. And everybody doesn't have that capability. Everyone doesn't have those faculties. And this entity is used to being visible strongly, intentionally, even as a fear tactic, to let people know that they're the elite of some sort, or they're the head of the cream of the crop. And it's been that way. It's always been that way. What makes people think it's going to change? And now the moon is involved. Like, okay, we're going to have intuition come into play here that can disrupt any type of plan that has been organized, especially when you're plotting on a people. It's going to cause insecurities in the people who thought they had everything planned out. They're going to be deceived by their own counterparts. And if they can't, they may consult with spiritualists. They may consult with the occult when this becomes more evident to them. They might want to know what's behind the scenes because they're so used to dealing in the light, forcefully in front of people with no form of sympathy, and feel that they will suffer no consequences. But the moon will have its way. The wolves will howl at the moon. The wolves know what's going on. They're guided by the moonlight. So the wolves are going to be okay. The wolves are going to eat. They're going to thrive in the midst of instability. Could be a society at large. Not just an economy, but a society. It's going to cause anxiety and fear in the opposition. It's going to cause them to make rash decisions. Not only that, because they're so used to dealing in the light in front of everybody with no fear of consequences, they're going to lack the mystery needed to infiltrate, to investigate. This is third eye energy. It's going to be real vague to them. I'm going to leave it there, Scorpios.